Okay, can you hear me
Is
clearly?
it better? Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
There's a fan
Yeah.
running near me. Is it a disturbance?
No, not at all.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, please go ahead.
Right. Dear participants, a very good morning to all of you. And I think we should begin up the sessions with a short introduction. Good morning to all of you. Dr. Pooja Shrivastava we have right now, and she will be taking for the Art of Living session. A short introduction about her. Dr. Pooja Shrivastava is an international faculty with International Association for Human Values, IAHV, and Art of Living Foundation for Happiness Program, other programs also. Currently, she is a faculty with the University of Oklahoma. Alongside, she is an executive coach for leadership development and ESKY breathing and meditation practice. She is a certified instructor of yoga and meditation and often teaches science of well-being workshops in universities and corporate settings. Dr. Pooja has taught retreats for mental well-being, work-life balance, and comprehensive stress resilience programs to faculty, staff, and students at Carnegie Mellon University and Virginia Tech University, University of Oklahoma, University of South Florida, and Texas A&M, etc., to name a few. She is a meditator herself for the last 22 years and teaching meditations for 13 years now. Really impressive, ma'am, to hear about the 20 years of experience of meditations, where in this hectic schedule, it is very difficult to manage for every human being, but it is the requirement. I can say that it is a necessity for all human beings, and definitely we would like to hear from you how you are managing your as a meditation, as your experience, so that we can take your guidance and go ahead. Thank you, ma'am. The stage is yours, and please.
Thank you, Nilesh. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Very nice to see you.
I request all the participants to switch on your their video
Cameras.
so that we can have an interactive session.
Yes, please come on the cameras. Thank you very much for those who are on the cameras already. It is a very good morning and we can all see each other. Thank you for switching on. More people can switch on. We will keep it like an interactive session, so you have to be visible, right? I don't want to feel like I'm talking to walls, and I feel you feel the same. Fantastic. I think COVID is making all this happen, and I'm so grateful that we are all connected on this forum and talking something regarding the art of living. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my slides. And just before we begin, I would like to know from you, what do you think, what is art of living? You can unmute and share your answers. What is art of living to you?
Happy living.
A happy living, yes. Very nice. What is art of living to you?
A simple living.
A simple living, yes.
Satisfaction.
Not getting depressed by failures in life and sustaining them.
Absolutely. Success, not having failures, having contentment, satisfaction. That is so,
Looking within
yes.
yourself.
What is it?
Looking within yourself.
Yes, very true. Looking within yourself.
So
I couldn't hear you, Riaz. Can you please come again? Social well-being? You are breaking. I think he said some kind of well-being. I could
Yeah,
hear.
he said social well-being.
Social well-being, yes. Social well-being is also very important. The way you feel connected to other people, the way you feel you are a part of the entire community. Yes, social well-being is also a very important ingredient. And I'm very glad all the answers really contributes to the question, what is art of living? So mostly we think that we exist on the level of body, right? How many of you think that you exist on the level of body? That yes, who am I? Our most of our identity is related with our body, right? If I ask you where you are, you will say, yes, my body is here, so I'm sitting here. There's a curtain behind me, there's a TV in front of me, I am on Zoom, there's a desktop in front of me. So what are you relating it with? With the body, right? So most of the time we think that we exist on the level of body. So I will tell you that our body is not the only level of existence for us. There are so many things. There are so many things. There are so many levels we are existing at. So there are basically 7 levels of existence. I will share my slides. I shared. Yeah. Can you see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. Dinesh, I want this one this side. Yeah. Okay. Can you now see it? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, it is not moving. Hmm. So, my slides are stuck. I don't know what happened. Yeah, we can share it again. Not the other one. I'm sorry for this delay. I'm just bringing it up. Okay, fantastic. So, yes, thank you for your patience. Can you hear me? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear
Yes.
you.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Thank you, Nilesh. So I was saying that we mostly feel that we exist on the level of body, and that is our first identification. But actually, we exist on 7 levels. So there are 7 levels of our existence. Body, first of all, which is the most gross level. You can see the body, you can see the eyes, hands, body, the entire thing. And then comes the breath. Can we all mute ourselves? Then comes the level of breath. We do not realize that we exist on the level of breath unless we exercise or we use our breath deliberately. Right? So, breath is one of the levels of existence. Breath is the level which connects body as well as mind. When we talk about living in the present moment, that the mind should be in the present moment, then we will be productive, then we will be happy. That level can be achieved with the help of breath because breath can connect with body and mind both. Then comes the third level is the level of mind. This level of mind is It's quite interesting actually. If I tell you that you are sitting here, your body is here, but you might not be here mentally. You might be somewhere else, maybe in the parking lot, maybe in the canteen, maybe in the library, maybe thinking about some research funding. If the mind is not here, then only physical body is present. So mind is one of the most important faculties too among the among the 7 levels of existence. Well, how does the mind function? We will see eventually in the presentation. Let's come on to the next level. The 4th level is the level of intellect. See, intellect is the level which is quite essential. You do a lot of analysis and rational thinking with the help of intellect. Even when I'm talking to you, you are saying yes or no in your mind. The mind goes, yes, this makes sense. Yes, this doesn't make sense. Yes, this, I have heard it somewhere else. So this yes and no of mind, which you do the talking with your own self of analysis, of rationalization, that happens on the level of intellect. The 4th level of the 7 levels of existence, the intellect. It is very, very essential, definitely for academicians. The 5th level is the level of memory. Memory is like, it's the storehouse of what has happened before. You have other things which have happened in the past. So memory is the storehouse. Like you go to your office and you go back to your home and you go back to your very home. You know which is your home. That is the function of your memory. You remember where you keep your car keys. You remember where you keep your books, which is your bookshelf, which book you have to pick up, everything. It is the storehouse in the memory. The 6th level is the level of ego. Have you all seen your ego? Yes, right? At some or the other point of time, we have all seen our egos. What does ego do? It gives you that sense of, I am superior, I am fantastic, or I am bad, I'm not very good, or I'm not doing good at all, I'm the worst. So this good and bad sense, in extreme sense, comes from the level of ego. Okay, this is also one of the layers of existence in you. And then comes the level of self, the level of Atman or spirit, or that sense of that I am everywhere, which cannot be diminished or finished. That is the level of self. So now, being a academician, when we define about what is art of living, having a good harmony in between all these layers of existence is the art of living. Having a good body, using of the breath in right way, having a balanced sense of mind, using intellect, making use of it, memory, ego, and self. When all these layers are harmonized, then we say we are living the art of living. We are just not living, but we are living it in a right way. Okay, I'm moving on to the next slide. I will now talk about the 3rd faculty, the mind. Like I told you, mind, you can be sitting here, but your mind can be absolutely somewhere else. How many of you agree? Raise your hand. If the mind is somewhere else, then physical body is here, but you are not here. What are the functions of mind? The mind perceives sound, sense of touch, sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of taste, and sense of sound. These all things happen through the mind. So the mind perceives all these 5 senses. That is the function of mind. So our mind basically constantly remains engrossed in perceiving through all these 5 senses, and it remains very busy. If you want to go beyond your mind, if you want to jump beyond your mind to go to the level of intellect, you have to give something to your mind which can bring the mind to a peaceful state, and that can be done by meditation. If you want your mind to take a break from all these senses, which keeps your mind engrossed in thinking and entertaining itself in sound, taste, smell, sight, and touch, that link can be given by only meditation. We'll see how. Okay. Don't you think it's a good picture? Right? Okay. So, suppose you are on a beach. So, this is a picture from Hawaii. So, you are in Hawaii or in Goa somewhere. There's a beautiful sunset or sunrise, and you're seeing all the waves. You see the blue skies, you see the blue water, green trees. Everything looks so beautiful, but you have something in your mind which is irritating your mind at that point of time. Would you be able to enjoy this scene in spite of being there? Yes or no? No, right? You'll not be able to enjoy this scene. In spite of being so beautiful, in spite of being there, you will not be able to enjoy it. Why? Because the mind is having some weird thoughts which is distracting you from this outer scenery. Okay, now suppose you are in a very crowded street, very crowded. There are a bunch of cars in front of you and there are many back. People are honking at each other, but you hear a very good news. Someone is calling you and giving you a very good news, and you are happy at that point of time. So despite of this chaos, which you can see on the streets, your mind is happy. Though the picture is not very happy one, you are stuck in the traffic, but because the mind is happy, you will feel happy. Do you all agree? So it is not about the outer surroundings of ours, but it is all about what is the state of your mind. Okay? So let's move on to the next slide. Basically, there are three types of knowledge, three types of information. Information which you perceive through your senses, through your five senses, the knowledge which you gain through your intellect, like how you do science or we do research, everything is evidence based. We connect the dots, do the research, do the literature review, search studies, and then we find out a conclusion. That is happening through intellect. And then there is an intuitive ability in yourself which is beyond your five senses and beyond your intellect. That is called as your intuitive ability. That ability can only be explored in you if you go in silence, or you make good use of your breath, or if you are a meditator. So if you see in the past, we had in our Indian tradition a lot of rishi munis and saints. They used to have some discoveries and some inventions which are still entertained, which are path breaking. So how they could do it? Because they were intuitive in nature. So moving beyond senses and intellect, meditation is one of the tools which can give you that intuitive ability. But for that, we have to be in silence for sometimes during the day, maybe for 20-30 minutes, to listen to your own self, to work on your own mind. Okay, so what is hampering our five senses or our intellect or our intuitive abilities? If we want to be very successful, if we want to thrive to our 100%, what is that layer? What is that thing which seizes us to be like that? I'm very sure we all know that is called as stress. Stress is one of the factors which is hiding our abilities, which is hiding the harmony which can happen between the 7 layers of existence. You must be knowing there are big costs associated with your stress. If the stress goes up, then there are chances of having heart diseases. If the stress goes up, there are chances of having gastrointestinal disturbances. If the stress in your system goes up, then your immune system is having problem. You have to get that treated. You get insomnia. There's a problem of sleeplessness if the stress is higher in the body. There are unevidented body pains in your body if the stress is not managed. And other ailments like reduced physical activity and other things. When the stress accumulate in the body, we see all these things coming up. And if you accumulate all these problems and go for a treatment, if any one of these arises, then you will find that the cost goes very higher. So it's a good idea to not go in that state and use our breath and the techniques for meditation to keep our stress levels low. Don't you think so? Okay, now coming on to a scientific conclusion to understand what I was saying. He gave a principle for time management. He says that for work and time management, if you want to make the most of your time, you need to know that typically 20% of your activities and tasks are so critical that they contribute about 80% to your total success of your work. If you manage this 20%, then 80% of your work is taken care of. So you have to decide what is your 20%. Where would you like to focus on that 20% which can lead to your 80%? Okay, we'll come on to that. Next is what contributes to our energy? What gives us energy in our life? To handle stress, we need energy. What can give that? So there are 4 sources of energy. Right kind of food. So it is said that I was reading medical information on American Association of Doctors. They say that the food has to be right kind, fresh food, juicy fruits, salad, juices, which can keep your prana level up. That is the right kind of food. If this is taken in a day, 1 glass of juice, fruits, that can keep your energy level up. Then comes the sleep. If you are not sleeping adequate, then you will feel sleepy entire day. You will feel lethargic entire day. So right kind of sleep is required. What is the right kind of sleep? What is your BMR? It depends upon that. So some people sleep 6 hours, they feel satisfied. Some people sleep 8 hours and they feel satisfied. But right amount of sleep is very much required. Then the third source of energy is breath. Using your breath to your productivity, like we do pranayams, breath work, that gives you more energy to your body and mind. So that is one of the sources of energy. And the fourth, which we hardly explore, is calm and peaceful meditative state of mind. It is one of the biggest sources of energy. 20 minutes of meditation can bring you a relaxation for 6 hours of sleep. So these are the 4 sources. We'll talk about this in a bit. Okay. So there are 2 important factors to our success. We were talking about success. We all want to be successful. We are talking about art of living, keeping the stress aside, having the highest level of prana energy, life force energy. So what contributes to your physical well-being? Exercising, going for a walk, eating healthy food, taking good rest. But do you also think about what contributes to your mental well-being? Do you sometimes pause and think about it? That how can my mental well-being will be taken care of? A good body can give you strength, flexibility, and agility. But what about mind? This is the most important faculty which is ignored. So we'll see more. This is a little joke for you. You can read it quickly. Okay. So to manage time very well during the day and to keep highest level of energies, we need to know 4 things. That mind have some negative tendencies, and that stops you from being successful, from being 100% at whatever you are doing. There are certain tendencies of mind. Breathing techniques are very essential. Right kind of breath, how you can skillfully use your breath so that the mind is energized. Having some technique for meditation is very, very important. That can energize your mind. And then, of course, then you can have your action plan, what you want to achieve, your goal setting for the day, right? So let's see what are the tendencies of your mind. See, mind has this tendency to vacillate from past to future and future to past. This is one of the tendencies of mind. When we talk about living in the present moment, being successful, being productive, I want to be the best. What is happening to the mind? Mind doesn't sometimes stay in the present. It vacillates from past. When the mind goes to past, anger and regrets come up. What happens? When the mind is in the past, anger and regret come up, and when it goes to future, fear comes up. What will happen to me when I go old? What will happen to me? There is so much competition. Though the future has not happened yet, but mind when goes to future, it brings a lot of fear. That fear brings a lot of anxiety to the mind. So when the mind is in future, fear and anxiety comes up. When the mind goes to past, anger and regrets come up. And this is the tendency of mind, that it keeps vacillating from past to future and future to past. So that's where we lose the focus, and that's where we are not able to concentrate because the mind is vacillating. So now let's see what happens when the mind constantly chew on some information. Like suppose somebody said something to you, you chew on that thought. When you chew on that particular thought, more thoughts come up. When the more thoughts come up, some emotions arise in you. That could be sense of fear, that could be sense of anxiety, that could be sense of surprise. And thinking constantly about certain things like negative thoughts solidifies your emotions. That is also an hindrance to the mind. That is, so you have to break the link between your thought and emotions. Thought and emotions are interrelated. Maybe somebody has not done anything to you, but if you keep in your mind that, yes, I think there is something going on, that thought itself can make you very fearful. And you might have fearful emotions coming up. So that's where meditation and breath work are essential, to break that link. To break that link so that you come back to your real state. Okay. Okay. So we are talking about breath work and meditation. I have researched all these. I have a backing up of research for all the slides which I have presented to you. So there's recent research done at the Harvard University, Yale, and Stanford. And these are the conclusion, that meditation and breath work, it boosts your learning abilities. It boosts your health. It boosts your happiness, your social connection and emotional intelligence. It makes you more compassionate, makes you feel less lonely. It boosts your self-control. It improves your ability to regulate your emotions. You don't want to go mad just because, the emotions are taking you somewhere. And it improves your productivity because it gives you that happy state of mind. So there is a recent study done on mental health at Yale, and the entire study says that those who are meditating, they are doing sky practice. This is one of the breathing techniques which is taught in the Art of Living program, Sudarshan Kriya, the sky breathing practice. Those people have lower stress levels, lower level of stress. Their mental health is taken care. Their sense of social connectedness is better. Their positive emotions are better, and they are mindful. So this is the recent research done by Yale. And I'll stop sharing my slide. Okay, it looks like a lot of content being given in one go. Okay, so basically, what we are saying, what we are talking about is that, you know, your the stress happens on the level of mind, and if the mind is taken care of, everything is taken care of. But the mind is always engrossed in this rational thinking, rational analysis. To slow down the mind, to have a break, even for 20 minutes, is much required. We are having a marathon on the level of mind. Have you all realized that? How rushy we are on the level of mind? We have to slow down because it affects our body. And during this period of Zoom, when we are all using our internet, our nervous system is on toss. So many vibrations, all electromagnetic energy all around. We are sitting in the field where everything is, electrical all around us. So, don't you think it's a good idea to meditate? Would you like to do a quick meditation? No? I know you want to do that. Fantastic. Yeah, sure. So we will see practically what has been presented in the slides. What I have been talking, we'll now see practically that it comes out or not. Okay, so just for some time, because it is morning there, we will stretch our hands in front of our screen. We'll do some desktop breath work. Fantastic. And we wave at the screen. Move it from your wrist. Do not be shy. We are doing it for our own body. We have to be alive during COVID. Yes. Bye bye. Sideways. The arm are twisting from here. We are saying bye. Yes. Fantastic. By doing that, we are smiling for no reason. So let the smile come. As we are growing, we have stopped smiling. In front. Fantastic. Insides. Great. Now we'll shake our arms. Goes up, comes down, and smile. Goes up, comes down, and we smile. There's no tax on smiling. Fantastic, fantastic. Yes. We relax our arms up in our lap facing towards the ceiling. The palms are up in the lap side, placed towards the ceiling, facing towards the ceiling. Yeah, on your lap. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll rotate our neck. This is the area where we accumulate a lot of stress during screen time and texting on the phone or reading a lot of research articles or attending meetings. So we rotate our neck. We do it as per our convenience, but we make a complete circle. You might hear some cracking sound. Fantastic. Keep rolling. Okay. On the other side now, come in the center. And on the other side, go left, anti-clockwise. And relax. Neck comes in the center. Fantastic. Now we look up the ceiling. And when we look down, we bring our chin to the chest. Up, down. And we repeat it 6 times. Wonderful. Yeah, relax. Now we blink our eyes. So how, because we keep looking on the screen all the time, you know that 20-20-20 rule, I am sure, but we blink our eyes. Blink like small kids blink their eyes. Yeah, blink, blink, blink. Nobody is looking at each other. You can blink. Even if you are wearing specs, blink and squeeze your eyes. Make funny face. Yes, squeeze it completely. Eyes need relaxation. Very nice. We can keep blinking our eyes. It gives relaxation to your eyes. Please open your eyes now. Stop blinking. Okay, now we'll press our eyebrows because we accumulate a lot of stress on the level of head. We will twitch our eyebrows. Yeah, very nice. Keep your neck straight. Do not bend your neck. You don't need your specs, so you can remove it. Twitch your eyebrows. Fantastic. Now forehead. We'll massage our forehead. 4 fingers on your forehead like this. Yeah. Close. Keep your eyes closed. Please keep your eyes closed and massage your forehead. And relax. You can rub your temples. Rub it here. Yeah. Don't rub it vigorously. Do it mindfully. Yeah. Don't stop breathing. Keep a gentle attention on your breath on the tip of your nostrils. See how skillfully the breath is moving in and out of your nostrils while we do this gentle desktop yoga. Very good. Now, on the head, doesn't matter if the hair go bad, you can comb them back, no problem, but we massage. This area is like our CPU. It gets heated up. If you check the temperature, it must be hot. Okay, right? So rub your palm on your head like this. Yeah, very nice. Keep doing it. It gives you relaxation. Rub it against your skull. Don't lift your arm. Just rub it like this against your skull. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, good, good, good. So that is amazing. Lift up. We will just move our neck a little bit. Yeah, the body is relaxed now. Right. So now make yourself comfortable wherever you are sitting because you will be meditating now. And if there is any sound or any shore sharaba around you, then you can close the door and just sit wherever you are. Your back can be rested, so no problem if your back is rested. Your shoulders need to be relaxed. Yeah. For some time, we are not interested in what is happening in our outer world. We just want to have some rescue for 20 minutes so that we can bang on start with our rational mind later on. Okay. So how we will do this guided meditation? I will, is my voice not clear? Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, your voice is clear. Yes, you can go ahead.
Clear, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, yeah. So we will now do the guided meditation. In the guided meditation, I will be telling you a few things like, take your attention to your right foot, right knee, right thigh, or right hand. So you have to keep your eyes closed and you have to take your attention to that part of your body. You don't have to open your eyes and look at the palm or look at somewhere. No, eyes will be closed and body will be still, like how yogis sit on Himalayas. So you will be sitting like that, still, back rested, but your mind will be just moving according to the instruction. Is it clear to you? Yes? Fantastic. So we will not be seeing anything. There's nothing to be seen. The same thing all around. And when you open your eyes, everything will be same. There will be nothing move from there. So do not open your eyes. Keep the eyes closed. If you wish, you can remove your specs. Okay, fantastic. Now the eyes are closed. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe out from your nose. Take one more breath in. I'm making the sound of the breath so that you have direction, and breathe out from your nose. Take one more breath in. And breathe out. Let us chant Om 3 times. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Take a breath in for Om. Om. Breathe in. Om. One more. Om. Keeping your eyes closed, listen to the vibrations of Om in your mind. If you did not chant Om, no problem. Just hear the vibrations of your own surroundings. Acknowledge it in yourself. Om is a primordial sound. It resonates with the surrounding. It is echoing inside you right now. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, relax yourself. Breathe out. Take your attention to all the noises around you. The noise of the air conditioner, the noise of the fan, the noise of people talking around you, the noise of the traffic. Accept all the noises, keeping the eyes closed. Do not resist any sound. Accept the sounds. Notice every sound carefully. You are in harmony with the sounds right this moment. If there are any sounds, so what? Doesn't matter. Our whole attention is inside us and we are relaxing. Take a deep breath in and breathe out from your nose. Take one more breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your physical body. Your body is a beautiful gift to you by nature. Honor and respect your body deeply. Take your attention to your right foot. Right knee, right thigh, right hip, and the whole of your right leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your attention to your left foot. Left knee, left thigh, left hip, and the whole of your left leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your attention to your navel region, your solar plexus. That is the center of creativity, innovation. Move your attention gently in between your chest. Keep your attention In the center of your chest, a gentle attention. Become aware of your left shoulder and left arm. Right shoulder and right arm. Throat. Deep center of your throat. Center of your eyebrows. Keep a gentle attention in between your eyebrows. Slowly move your attention to tip of your nostrils and observe your breath. Take your attention to tip of your nostrils and observe your breath. Breath is moving in and out of your nostrils. Incoming breath energizes your body, and outgoing breath brings more relaxation. Breath is so powerful. Become aware of your chin. Ears, left ear, right ear. Move your attention to the top center of your head. Now breathe in and breathe out from the top center of your head. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in once again and slowly let go. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your mind. Your body is like a wick of the candle, and the mind is like the glow. It is all around your body. Become aware of your thoughts. Good thoughts or bad thoughts. Doesn't matter. Just observe your thoughts. Do not resist the thoughts. Let them come. Any thoughts are welcome. You are in harmony with your thoughts right this moment. Take a deep breath in and breathe out from your nose. Become aware of your feelings, whether pleasant or unpleasant. Let them be. Accept your feelings as they are. You are in harmony with your feelings right this moment. You are peace. You are joy. You are happiness. असतो मा सद्गमयः तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमयः मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमयः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Become aware of your feelings. Become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of any sensations in your body, if any. Slowly and gradually, taking your own good time. Whenever you feel complete, you may open your eyes and come back. Good morning, everyone. How are you all?
Good morning.
How is your mind? Would you like to unmute and share? I would like to listen.
Finished.
Right.
That was wonderful, ma'am.
Thank you.
At peace, ma'am.
Peaceful,
Relaxing, ma'am.
relaxing.
Very relaxing.
Ma'am, it relieved all the stress which I was going through.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, is your mind in the present now?
Yes, coming to the
Yeah. There's some echo happening. Okay. So, this is what the breath does. The breath can bring the mind in the present. And the present, when the mind is in the present, then the mind is not that stressed. And the mind is most productive when it is in the present moment. Like we go for a walk or we go to some place where there is natural beauty. Why we love the nature? Because nature is static, it is in the present always. So when the mind comes in the present, then the mind is very peaceful. But mind requires skill to be in the present moment. That skill is your breath, your own breath, and meditation, your own inner world. So the program teaches Sudarshan Kriya and other breathing techniques which are being researched by Yale, Stanford, and Harvard. And recently there was an Harvard Business Review also, which was, as a research progress showed the evidences. The whole point is that you should consolidate yourself in the morning hours to be more productive throughout the day. Yeah, then you can be in this equanimous state throughout the day, and your 7 layers of existence are also harmonized. And as you keep progressing, becoming a good meditator, you feel more harmony within your own self. Okay. I hope that is, I think for today it is enough. Nilesh?
Yeah, ma'am. It's a very wonderful and hands-on experience session, ma'am. Really feel rejuvenating right now, and
I'm so
definitely
happy.
we'll be practicing. But right now, not from my side, but from the participant side. So, if you would like to share your experience, please go ahead.
Yeah, please share your experience.
Ma'am,
And
good
if for any questions, even real-time questions, real-life questions about the stress or anything, whatever it will,
Yeah,
you
please
can
go
raise.
ahead and ask.
Please.
Ma'am, good morning. In the first place, let me tell you, it is had such a nice effect. But I would just like to take your advice. It is not like I had not tried meditation before. Ma'am, one problem that I face is that moment you start your meditation, you sit in a quiet room, you try to have, you try to think about yourself. The problem that I face is there are a lot of conflicting ideas that come to your mind, and you know the aim. You would like to cut off from the outside world. But the problem that I face, ma'am, is all those things that I would like to get rid of invariably after some time. Initially, you are okay, ma'am, but those conflicting ideas come back to you after some time. You start to drift off. Of course, with the effort, I try to come back. At times, I'm successful. Ma'am, how do you advise me to overcome that, ma'am?
Yeah, that's a very beautiful question. That's a good question. So, actually, the meditation is a process of effortlessness, not effortfulness. You don't have to resist any ideas if they are coming to your mind that point of time. Okay, I can't see him, Bora. Bora. He's dropped or he's there.
No, he's got some internet issues. He'll come back, ma'am.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I think he is able to hear you, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay. So if there are any ideas coming to your mind during meditation, please don't resist those ideas. Let them come. The process is to deconcentrate. The process is not for concentration. When we make it more effortful, when we keep concentrating, so what happens on the level of mind, whatever you resist, that persists more and more. So you cannot say a thought not to come. Nobody knows where the thought comes from. Even scientists do not know where the thought comes from. They just come and go. So more and more you do the breath work. That is why we do the breathing part first and then we meditate. When we do the breathing part, then it's like rinsing your system. The mind become present and you go on the level of finer thoughts, not emptiness. Thoughts will be there. But as you keep progressing, the thoughts will become less. For that, you have to make sure that you regularly sit with your eyes closed. Then there will be lesser thoughts. Lesser, then finer, then no thoughts, like a saint on the Himalayas.
It's a continuous process, ma'am.
Yep. You are on a continuum and it's a continuous process.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, just one more thing.
Yeah.
In case we would like to follow your this thing, is there any way that we can follow whatever you like your teachings?
Yeah. So I have learned from the Art of Living Foundation, and those courses I teach here in the US, in universities, and currently done a faculty program. You can learn that in India also. There are Art of Living courses, or if Nilesh can organize something, we can teach it from here. I can teach it from here. But yes, that's a good question because you need a set of practice which you can do regularly, right? Sattva is an app. Sattva, Sattva. Sattva app has a lot of good guided meditations. You can follow that.
Morning, ma'am. I'm Samir Kulkarni.
Yes.
It's the right point what probably you have told about guided meditations. Probably whenever I do such a kind of guided meditations, probably that's the time when I see the inner blissness or calmness and these things like that. But whenever there are some other musical meditations which are there, or if you just sit quiet and don't entertain any thoughts and things like that, probably this kind of calmness I don't get it. So would you recommend continuously doing guided meditations?
So who guides? It depends upon who guides that meditation. If I'm not a meditator and I guide you, I tell you, you will not be able to meditate because it is here on this path. It is very important that you live that. So first, you have to, if you are doing guided meditation, it has to be from trusted resources. So I said that Sattva is good. Second, yes, please, it's a good thing.
Your voice is not there, ma'am.
What? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So I would suggest you please do some breath work, some breathing practice like Bhastrika, like 20 times. You can do 3 rounds of Bhastrika. Do Nadi Shodhan. Nadi Shodhan affects the nadi which is in between your eyebrows, which leads you to meditation. So do that. I am sure if you do Bhastrika and Nadi Shodhan, you will be better able to meditate. As a beginner, you can also keep your attention on the tip of your nostrils and just observe your breath. That will also take you into meditation. Thank you. Any other question?
Any other question from participant side? I think no, ma'am. Okay, let's conclude the session with thankfulness to Dr. Pooja Srivastava, and thank you for sharing your experience and hands-on session, ma'am. Nothing else to say, but definitely it is a enjoying session and hands-on session despite of our technology management continuous technical lectures. Right now we are feeling refreshing, and hopefully next 3 days we are going to enjoy our FDP programs, and hopefully in future if getting chance, then definitely I would like to invite you for our classes and for the defense personals events.
Definitely. And I would say for technology, what I have shared with you is the technology of your own mind. Fixing things outside is one thing, and fixing your own mind so that things look more organized is another. So the quality of your mind decides the quality of your life. So take care of your mind.